Hello, my dear friends, the people of the planet Earth. I am a simple single atom of the large picture of humanity. Everyone is a part of me, so greeting, Baha'i greeting to all of you. As I promised last night, I will take a few minutes to speak about the sexuality, which is the last part of the instinctive desires, and in fact the most important part of it as far as the human being concerns. As I mentioned before, if you look at the children and the adults, the only difference is sex. Everything we do, we share with the children, except for the matter of sex as an adult. And then just take it from here and use a bit of philosophy and logic and try to do some deduction. Look at the difference between the world of a child generally in the world and the world of an adult. The difference is enormous. Children play with toys, they don't know science, they don't go to moon. All these desires comes once just the main component of the desire, the sex, is added to it. As if a two-color picture all of a sudden becomes full color. So a lot of things can trace back to sex and sexuality of the people, what they are and how successful or how unsuccessful they are on the things they do. This is the work of psychologists. I'm here trying to philosophize the things and give some idea maybe. With the appearance of sexuality in man, usually we become wiser, we become more intelligent, we even gain a lot of qualities, we can become kinder or more cruel. We become fully aware, full human, being we become. And then of course when we talk about sex, it's always an attraction between the male and female, classically speaking, normally speaking. And between sex and love, in my opinion, there is a very beautiful relationship. It is the sex, in my opinion, that when accumulates the desires of the sex, it turns into love. Say, I just give an example all the time. If the Romeo and Juliet, that they were famous lovers, or in Iran, Layli and Majnun, the love story we have heard about them is enormous. But let's say they're married, or they come together and they keep having sex because they have too much love between them. Probably turns into sex. Let's say 20 times a day, 5 times, 6 times, I don't know, whatever amount they want, they have sex with each other. You be the judge of it. Would you not think after a month or two as they have sex with each other, then that desires cools down, so the potential energy turns into kinetic, and kinetic turns into potential again. By joke I say that if Juliet asks, hey Romeo, bring me a cup of coffee, he says, go fetch it yourself. So this has happened. Somebody in Toronto once called me and says that, oh, he's so much in love with his wife, and still he thinks he is, but after 6 months they didn't have any children. He feels that it cools down. I told him, since you're telling me that, trusting me with this, then I have to tell you what I think. I told him, you have too much sex with your wife. If you stop that and moderate that, then you would have love. This is also, I said, just try it. You had to have sex, now just go 1 week, abstain yourself. He told me, the very first day in the office, I just felt that I want to go home. And I didn't do nothing, and the second day I wanted to go more. I was just feeling that. So, this is what it is. Or two people that don't like each other, you know, they look at each other as ugly, maybe. They're not each other's type, they're left in, let's say, a place, you know, a jail, some remote island. The first day they don't like each other, but after they stay together, the sexual power kicks in, and then gradually they look at each other, you know, they don't seem too bad, you know. So there's a relationship between sex and love. It seems like you can break down love into the sex, just like you can break down matters into atom, you know, energy into quanta. You can also break down love into sex. The number of times that you have sex, it defines the measure of the love you have. So, but I've noticed just a little children that they grow up at the age 1, you know, they have to be potty trained. They don't know how to use bathroom. Before that, they don't know how to eat. Sleep, I guess they can. The fastest thing to learn. But eating and potty training is something that they don't know right away. The same is happening with sex at the age 15 when it comes out. Most people, they just don't know it. So sexual training is an absolute necessity. However, it has to be done artificially with toys. But it under supervision in class, people just have to learn how to have sex. What are the pleasure definition into it, especially for those who want to marry. Sexual education, in my opinion, is one of the most important component of a marriage to stay together. Very important. I remember the manager of one of the banks once was telling me that I married my wife when she was 150 pounds, now she's 220. She said she's in the breach of contract. I didn't marry that. I married 150 pounds. So this education has to be set forth for the couple. They understand each other, so what is involved, and they are more aware of it. So today, though, in the society, it's very hard to marry. Ideally, Baha'u'llah says 15 and 16 is the age of maturity. In an ideal society, people have to marry probably at age 15 and 16. When things are so simple, not complicated as it is right now. But even in Western society, 15 is nothing. By age 25, people don't still have a house. They don't have a place. They don't have a proper job. So that brings up, and plus constantly TVs and the programs and people that are just sending the signals, and that causes a lot of people to have sex with themselves. This is bad and this is good, because if you can't have it, then you end up buying it, then you might get sick, and a lot of ways. So having sex with yourself at this time of, 2010, but still, as a provisional matter though, I think it's okay, it's recommended. However, the person has to know that this takes the person in a cyberspace. You become totally imaginary with the matter. And you live in a world of imaginations about sex, and that's dangerous, because then you may not be able to enjoy reality, or convolute the reality with that type of sex, which is tiresome and totally devastates the brain, has a lot of bad things to it. But if there's no choice, as a temporary measure, people could, I guess, do that. And the other things that is happening nowadays everywhere, and I have to talk about it a bit, is this issue of the homosexuality that's around. Straightforward, Baha'i faith does not think this is a normal way to have sex. I do not think it is normal. And it has a lot of problem. It's not a solution. It's a simple